Did you know that most producers are sitting on powerful mixing tools inside FL Studio and they don't even realize it? In my last video, I explained behind building stock-only mixing preset and template bundle. Today, we are taking it further. In this video, I'm officially launching the bundle and more importantly, I'm going to mix a full rap song from start to finish using nothing but this stock preset and the template. No shortcuts, no hidden plugins, just a real workflow, real vocals, and a real result. If you're serious about learning how to mix faster, cleaner, and with intention, this one is for you. Before I get into the mix, quick shout out to our sponsor making this video possible. This video is sponsored by MusicCreatorAI, a platform that helps you generate musical ideas and beats insanely fast. Instead of starting on a blank project, I'm going to use MusicCreatorAI to create the foundation for the beat we'll be mixing on today. Let me quickly show you how this works. So after clicking this link on our description right now, it will take you straight to MusicCreatorAI, where we will create this wonderful beat that you are in need of. I am going to click AI music generator, guys. And as always, we'll go to our ChatGPT, copy our prompt, paste it here, guys. So today I'm looking for something of a hip-hop side. I'm looking for something that is aggressive on the genre. I'm looking for something that is hip-hop. And I'm also looking for a trap, guys. Aggressive, say angry, and maybe inspiring. Click this, instrumental only. And as always, these are some of the cool ideas it gave us. So it gave us Iron Resolve. I think it's the name of the beat. So let's listen. It's really amazing, guys. Also gave us the second option, and these are some other options that I was just playing with, trying to find something that can work specifically with those vocals. And I actually found a perfect beat that actually worked for the vocals that I was given. So I think this thing is wonderful. This is a wonderful thing to use in 2026, and I believe that AI is going to take over music, guys. So you might as well just try and make it work somehow. So instead of wasting time hunting for ideas, this gives you a starting point you can actually work with. I'll leave the link on the description if you want to check out MusicCreatorAI. Now let's bring this beat into FL Studio and get into the real world, mixing rap vocals using stock preset and template bundle. So this is the song that you're working on. Very beautiful song. So this is the beat that I actually made using MusicCreatorAI. The link is in the description. This is our mixer track as always. And then this is the song that we will be working on today. So this is the beat that I ended up choosing. Right now, everything is just a mess, but I tried, to do some basics, like on the vocal, I tamed some of the frets, try to control the volume of the vocal, but everything is at 0. It is not linked anywhere from this vocal to this one and to this one. So this is how the beat sounds like. this is a vocal, not an AI vocal, but a straight up rap vocal that was recorded by a real human being. So this is how it sounds like.
I started off as intwana yasigas lengoma sivumela phansi sangena kho kwasekuphela mamenas ngadvele basibukela phansi we ended all lokusibiza niggas.
So it sounds like this. We're going to start with linking these things to their right channels, guys. So we are going to start with the beat. This is our beat. Put it on the right channel, which is channel number 1. And then on channel number 1, as always, we have the beat channel, and on the beat channel we have the plugins that are actually making the beat sound nice, guys. This is how they sound like, by the way. EQ, the balancer, and the spacer, guys. And then if your beat is sounding a little bit down, just use an inflator and it will be turned up again. And then as for the vocal, let's play the vocal again. It sounds natural, guys. There's nothing drastic on it. So let's place it on its own channel, guys. And then we have its own music track, which is this one, track number 3, insert number 3. And there's nothing on the main channel of the main vocal on track number 3, guys. There's nothing. But this thing is linked to a bass channel engine, guys. So this is the engine, and boom, the engine has a de-esser, it has the thick, it has the gate. So this is how it sounds like with these things involved, starting with the de-esser.
Jela so shiya maleka sithulang zenas hitha baphathi bestrati baphika singaqala naphansi la siba bafasi hithe sakhatla ngekhali bengeke le numbers ngakhali so khali khali ngibali imali kathi paringa limali sinkabe nenkane we party namalani nobody troubled anybody so baba get down. The love is real over here but the love is real over here but
So the vocal started to become a little bit warmer, and these plugins, especially the de-esser, started to tame some of the S's and T's on the vocal. Not only taming those S's and T's, it also tamed some of the harsher frequencies on this vocal, since this thing uses a straight up EQ to de-ess the vocal and to work on the harsher frequencies of the vocal. So it's a very, very good de-esser to use on your vocal than using the one that is from FL Studio. I like how it sounds like, and the gating is also very good, and it's working with this vocal. Now that we have linked the vocals to their proper channels, now when I'm mixing the vocal, I always follow something like 4 steps, and these are the 4 steps that I like to follow. Okay guys, so I've been mixing for a long time now, and I've realized that in most cases when I'm mixing a song, I always follow these 4 steps. So the first step that I like to do when mixing a vocal is vocal cleanup, meaning control before creativity. Now, what this does, before I touch EQs or compressors, the first thing that I always do is clean up the vocal. There's no point shaping or enhancing something you don't even like yet. This step is about removing distractions, unwanted parts, harsh moments. So I'm only working with what actually deserves to be in the mix. And this is control before creativity. Now, this is how I like to do it on my vocals. The first steps of cleaning the vocal, we have here the Fruity parametric EQ, and then here we have smooth, guys. Now, this one modeled after Smooth 2, guys. So they created Smooth 2 using 100% stock plugins, guys. And believe me, this thing works like Smooth 2. So if you don't have Smooth 2, just use Smooth. It works wonders. So we're going to start with Fruity Parametric EQ2 to work on this vocal, mainly for taming unnecessary things that you don't like on the vocal and making sure that the vocal sounds nice. So I'm going to quickly do that here and then show you here. If you want to learn more about the vocal frequencies, where do we find the boominess? Where do we find the air? Where do we find the clarity? Where do we find the plosiveness and stuff? Just go and watch the course. There's a detailed video that is clearly teaching about vocal frequencies, how to tame them, and why these frequencies are a problem or needed for your vocals. So let me just do that quick in 3, 2,
1 hour later.
This is what I ended up working with, guys. So as you can see here, I didn't roll anything on the low frequencies. That's because we'll do the rolling off at a later stage. And I actually tamed some of the 201 hertz frequency at around, something like negative 1.2 dB. And then also did a sweep, guys. So this is where I had something that I didn't like on the vocal.
The love is real over here, but tala mestula bebate yin yonade. Ya begunzi, mama man. Stala stulile, sashela wheels over 10.
Now, I didn't like that. It was too plosive like for my liking, and I didn't like that. I also did a harsh sweep here at around the 1557 hertz. Sounds like this.
The love is real over here, but tala mestula bebate yin yonade. Ya begunzi, mama man. Stala stulile, sashela.
Now, at some of the frequencies on this vocal, I had a lot of distorting sound here, guys. So I just needed to tame that. So here, from the 2000 hertz up until the 10,000 hertz, I didn't do anything because for that we have a de-esser. A de-esser that we always mixing on a de-esser.
The love is real over here, but tala mestula bebate yin yonade. Ya begunzi, mama man. Stala stulile, sashela wheels over 10. Skala bespala ngamanga ngoba maspala ngamavari bestala singadlala bengcava bevala masanga ubaphaga mama ucambalala malanga nambala. The co-starring is a general. Better salute me maslanga talking in general. Flow nice and impeccable. Getting and looting and varisipala incredible.
Now, this is our suite 2, which is smooth, guys. So suite 2 is mostly for resonance suppressor. Again, there are frequencies that are still troubling me at the top. Yes, we try taking them down here, but they're still here, guys. So let's try and take them out.
The love is real over here, but tala mestula bebate yin yonade. Ya begunzi, mama man. Stala stulile, sashela wheels over 10. Skala bespala ngamanga ngoba maspala ngamavari.
That is the distorting sound that I actually tamed here, guys. So guys, remember that suite 2 doesn't work like your EQ. You don't have to take this thing down. You have to actually boost it so that it can work on taming whatever resonance you're working on. And then let's find another one here.
The love is real over here, but tala mestula bebate yin yonade. Ya begunzi, mama man. Stala stulile.
Now, this one is more like your pain frequency, guys. Pain frequency here. It also has that distorting sound, but mostly the pain frequency, guys.
The love is real over here, but tala mestula bebate yin yonade. Ya begunzi, mama man. Stala stulile, sashela wheels over 10. Skala bespala ngamanga ngoba maspala ngamavari bestala singadlala bengcava bef.
Now, the vocal even sounds a little bit brighter, and we haven't boosted the clarity on this vocal, but it sounds a little bit brighter, guys. Now, this is how my step 1 looks like. Now, for step 2 is vocal toning and shaping. Once the vocal is clean, the next step is shaping the tone. This is where the vocal starts to belong in the song. I'm not trying to make it loud yet. I'm shaping the character and the clarity so it naturally fits the instrumental. If the vocal sounds right here, everything else becomes easier. Now again, for this step, guys, if you don't know how it works, you can just go and watch the course. We are detailing, going deep in this plugin, guys. So now this is like your SSL channel strip plugin. So this is the SEV2, guys, which is a very, very wonderful imitation of the real SSL. So here we have tamed and boosted and shaped the vocal. Like for instance, here at the low frequencies, we boosted at around 3 dB. And then here we tamed around 100 hertz on the low frequencies. And then on our bell here, we have more like something like a wider bell. Now, what is nice about this plugin, guys, if you go to the maps, there are lots of things that are here that you can see, a lot of EQs. If you don't know what you're doing when you're turning these knobs up and down, you can just go to their EQs and go to the map, and these things will show you exactly what is actually happening when we are tweaking these knobs. So when I'm doing something like this on my vocal, I am trying to bring back the body while still controlling some of that body frequency on the vocal. Now, the vocal is a bit thinner, guys, in sound. So I actually needed to bring back the bass up a bit. So that is why we put it at around 3 dB on the low frequencies and then tamed at around 100 hertz, guys. Now remember, the hertz are always lesser than the dBs. Now here we have a Q section. This is like your Q section, a slope, guys. That is you choosing if you want a narrow band or a wider band of tweaking your vocal. Now this is the low mid frequency, guys. On our low mid frequencies, we tamed at around -3 and then tamed at around 8, guys. So here it is where you actually shape the sound of your vocal. When your vocal sounds cheap, when your vocal doesn't sound nice on that low mid frequencies or on that middle frequencies, it is mostly because you need to fix here. Sometimes when your vocal has that distortion sound that I was talking about, you have to fix it here because mostly our vocals have problems on the middle frequencies and sometimes on the highs, but mostly we have problem frequencies on the middle frequencies. So that is why we tamed here at around 3 and then it's around 8 and then on the high mid frequencies we actually tamed here and then we actually have a slope that is a bit narrower in shape, guys, and then we boost that now at around 4.5 kilohertz, tamed at around -3 dB again. And then these are the high frequencies. This is actually not a boost, guys. This is actually you shaping what you're boosting here. So here we boosted at around 6 dB, guys, just to boost the top clarity of the vocal. And it sounded amazing. And then here we rolled off at around 70% of that low end since we're working on a male vocal, just rolling some of that low end and just rolling off some of that high frequencies. It's around 12, guys.
The love is real over here, but I mesicula bebathi yini yona le. Yabeka unzima my man. Sihlala sithulile sashela wheels over 10. Sihlala besibhala ngamanga ngoba masibhala ngamavari besihlala singadlala bengicava bevala amasaka baphakama mawucambalala amalanga nambala. The co-starring is a general. Better salute me masihlangana talking in general. Flow nice and impeccable. Getting and looting if I recibala incredible. Adding to what ikakaza.
As you can see that the vocal sounds a little bit shaped. You can feel the vocal now a little bit brighter. You can feel the vocal in your face, guys, in your face. I just like how this thing is doing. The vocal is bright. The vocal has some low end, but not in your face. The vocal is controlled and just sounding nice. I like this step, guys. Very, very wonderful step to do. Now, our step 3 is vocal balance and placement. After the tone is right, now we focus on balance. This step is about placing the vocal correctly against the beat, not fighting it. I want the vocal to sit confidently in the mix, clear and present, without sounding forced. Balance is what separates a good mix from a professional one. So in balancing the vocal, for this video, we are going to balance the peaks of the vocal, balance the frequencies of the vocal, making sure that the vocal is sounding nice and balanced and compatible to work on this beat. Now, when you listen to this vocal, sometimes you get the vocal sounding a little bit lost in some of the frequencies of the beat. You will find the vocal somehow getting lost on some parts of the beat frequencies. So we don't need that. You need the vocal to be always up front, you need the vocal to be always present, and the peaks always contained and glued together. Now we have compressors here. These are the compressors that you are using. So this one is a Very Child 660. It was modeled after the real Puke Child 660 compressor. And nothing big here. We are only trying to control the loudest peaks of the vocal and also boosting some volume on the vocal. We didn't go for an aggressive threshold here, and then the attack is low and the release is fast because we are working to attack those loudest peaks that are just not working out for our vocals. And then the second compressor, so this one is an Artbox imitation. I just wanted to go for a light compression, something that is gluing the whole song together. This is how it sounds like with these two compressors.
The love is real over here badala mesicula bebathi yini yona le yabeka unzima my man sihlala sithulile sashela wheels over 10 yabeka unzima my man sihlala sithulile sashela wheels over 10 siqala besibhala ngamanga ngoba masibhala ngamavari besihlala singadlala bengicava bevala amasango baphakama mawucambalala malanga nambala the girl story is a general better salute me masihlangana talking in general flow nice and impeccable.
And then our step 4 is final enhancement. This is where we add energy, the excitement, and the emotion. At this point, the vocal is already controlled. So anything I add now is intentional. This is the final control stage that turns a clean vocal into a finished record. And on this step, guys, on our normal mixing, equations, this is where we can actually use something like a multiband compressor, something like a saturator. But since we already have saturation on the vocal, we don't need it, guys. We have the saturation on the mic that was used to record this vocal, and we have saturation on the engine, guys. Here we have saturation. Remember that we use thick to actually boost some of the saturation. Here we boosted the drive and the warmth so that we have some saturation on this vocal. So the only thing that I will actually use here to actually control this overall, song or this overall vocal, I would have actually used something like a multiband compressor than using a straight up static EQ, guys. The thing that I'm going to actually do here, I'm going to introduce this plugin, and it says clarity, guys, boosting the clarity of the vocal.
The love is real over here badala mesicula bebathi yini yona le yabeka unzima my man sihlala sithulile sashela wheels over 10 siqala besibhala ngamanga ngoba masibhala ngamavari besihlala singadlala bengicava bevala amasango.
So if you see this plugin, take it as your fresh air plugin, just boosting clarity of the vocal. Now we're not done. We still have the effects, guys. So we have the room reverb.
The love is real over here badala mesicula bebathi yini yona yabeka unzima my man sihlala sithulile sashela wheels over 10 siqala besibhala ngamanga ngoba masibhala ngamavari besihlala singadlala bengicava.
So I intentionally make them sound subtle, guys. Like here on our long reverb, I have it as it's around 30%. And then here on my short reverb, it's around 25% also. And then on my room reverb, it's around 30%. So this is a vocal, which is a rap vocal. I wanted it to be upfront, guys. And it also goes for the delays.
I started off as a donna yasegas lengoma sivumela phansi sangena kwase kuphela amamenas ngadvele basibukela phansi we ended on lokusibiza ama-niggas hanikali inhlamvu ngizwa ngathi veneke zone manje sibiza abanikazi sanitshela soshiya ama-legacy thula ngizenazi hithe abaphathi besitradi baphika singayiqala naphansi lasiba abafasi hithe sakhadla ngey'khali bengeke ley'namba zingakhali sohale ngibala imali kathi ibhali ngalimali singabe inenkani we body party namalani nobody trouble anybody so baba get down. The love is real over here badala mesicula bebathi yini yona le yabeka unzima my man sihlala sithulile sashela wheels over 10 siqala besibhala ngamanga ngoba masibhala ngamavari besihlala singadlala bengicava bevala amasango baphakama mawucambalala malanga nambala the girl story is a general better salute me masihlangana talking in general flow nice and impeccable getting and looting if I receive incredible adding to what ikakazale rap we had to do with an attitude I'm headed to dropping bars holy mind ngonjingane sibe happy too.